So let's start with the today lecture. And in this lecture, you are going to learn about different factors which are going to affect the rate of reaction. So rate of reaction is the change in concentration per unit time. And this is the objective of our today lecture. What factors are going to affect the rate of the reactions, and some of the factors are mentioned over here. It is the nature of the reactants, maybe the ionic or the covalent, concentration of the reactant, pressure of the reactants in case of the gases, surface area, catalyst, and the temperature. So one by one, we are going to discuss all these factors with a very brief reason. Sorry. So why these are going to happen and how they are going to affect the rate of the reaction. So the first one is the starting with the collision theory. Actually, this is the reason behind how the different factors are going to affect the rate of the reaction, and that means for a reaction to happen or to occur, the particle must have the effective collision. So this is the first requirement. If the reaction are in a reaction, the reactants are converted into the product, there must be a effective collisions between the particles. That means what is the effective collision? Effective collision, the particle must have enough energy and collide at the correct angle. So this such type of the collisions are called the effective collisions. So for any chemical reaction to occur, there must be a effective collisions, and if there are no any effective collision, then the reactants are not converted into the product. So for the effective collision, again, we are considering two. First is the orientation. That means they must collide in a perfect angle, and they must also have a sufficient energy so that their reactants are converted into the product. And this is the collision theory. So let's explain again with the possible way of the collisions. And in this, there are four types: one, A, B, C, and D. So these are the collisions between the particles. And here there is only one is the effective collision, other one are the not effective collision. So let's start with the example one. This is the first one where two particles, this is particle A, let's suppose is particle B, are colliding together. They are moving towards, and what is happening? It is again returning away from each other with the same orientation or with the same molecular composition. That means there is no change after the collisions, as they are the same as they are the before the collision. So this is the let's suppose this is the atom, and there are the two atoms are joined together. Let's suppose this is the case of carbon dioxide. Let's suppose carbon, and there are the two oxygen, and similar there is the another molecules. So example I'm describing with a very simple way to define the one is the orientation. That means the effective collision, and in effective collision there must be a correct angle of the collision and the energy that is associated to convert the reactant into the product. So if there is no change before and after the collisions, that means it is the incorrect orientation, because the molecules are not colliding with the specific orientation where they need to be collided to convert to the product. So this is the incorrect orientation. So there is no change in the of conversion from the reactant to the product. So look at the B orientation. Here again the molecules are colliding to each other. So look at the molecules over here. This is the same as given over here, but the orientation is changed. Here the red atom is colliding with the red, but here the blue one is colliding with the blue. But after the collision, again, there is no change in the reactant. That means the reactants are remain as the reactant. So if there is no change and they are moving away from each other, that means this orientation is called so the incorrect orientation. So why we have called them the incorrect orientation? Because there is no change after the collision between the molecules. So only collision is not necessary. So because you need a specific orientation, and we have defined earlier the specific orientation mean when the reactants will be converted into the product. So again, you will not find any change before and after the collision. So orientation is same, there is no change in the molecule, so this is also called the incorrect orientation. So look at the orientation C. This is the one of the example. Again, these two molecules are colliding together. So look at the position. This is the dark blue is colliding with this red. So they are colliding together. So let's see. Please unmute yourself. Please, who are muted. So this is the third type of the collision. Again, these are the same molecules. Molecules A, molecule B are colliding together. Now they are going to form an activated complex. And look at the product. Actually, the reactive molecules now have changed into the products. So one of the red atom is replaced from this light blue to the this dark blue, and this there is that means the reactants are converted into the product. So if this is happening, now they have the correct orientation. That means they, although they are colliding, and of course A and B are colliding, but A and B are not going to be converted into the products. And here the C is converted into the product. That's why we will see this is the correct orientation, and these are having the sufficient energy to convert the reactant into the products. So these type of collisions are called the effective collision. So look at the D. So one is another important factor over here is the energy. If even the orientation is correct, if the energy is insufficient, then the reactants will also not convert it into the product. So look at, this is the same position as we are going to discuss over here, because orientation of this dark blue is in front of the red, and here this is the same. It seems to be the effective collision, but after collision, there is no change in the reactants. So this will remain as the same, and this atom or the molecule will remain same as it is before the collision. So there is no change in the reaction. So reactant will remain same as the reactant. That means, so what is happening over here? The orientation is correct. You cannot deny the orientation because this is the same orientation in case of the C. But what is missing over here? The energy is insufficient. So if the orientation is correct, but the energy is insufficient, which convert the reactant to the product, then this reaction will also not happen. That means they are not the effective collisions. So all these A, B, and C are not going to fall within the effective collision, but here only the C is the option where there is the effective collision. That means correct orientation and the sufficient energy uh, are leading to convert the reactant to the product. So this actually I have explained over here. This is the collision theory, and this is the reason behind all these the factors affecting the rate of the reaction. And now I'm going to use this knowledge to apply on all these of the rest of the factor. So let's start with the first one factor, and this is the concentration and the pressure. So always remember, when there is the concentration, actually we are considering the solution, and if it is the pressure, that means your reactants are in the gaseous form. So you have two type of the reaction, is it is in the solution form or in the gaseous form. So when it is in the solution form, you have to check the effect of the concentration on the rate of the reaction, and in case of the gases, you have to say the effect of the pressure on the rate of the reaction. So first look at the effect of the concentration. So that means if you increase the concentration or if you decrease the concentration, what would be the effect of this concentration on the rate of the reaction? So this may be in the form of your examination question. The first you have to give the actually what is the effect. Either the effect mean the rate will increase or the rate will decrease with the change in the concentration. And the second is what is the reason behind this one. This is also considered under your topic. You also have to describe the reason why the rate is going to affect the is affected with the change in the concentration or the pressure. So first have a look on the first example. If you increase the concentration of the reactor, and that remember what we have discussed in the rate and the rate law. Rate is equal to K concentration of the reactant. That means rate is directly related to the concentration of the reactant, and this we have discussed in detail in our previous lecture. So what is happening over here? If you increase the concentration, so look at the dotted red dot over here. These are the, let's suppose the number of molecules of the reactant. And when you increase the number of molecules of the reactant, so this is in increased number of molecules of the reactant, and this is the third one. If you are going to further increase the concentration of the reactant, so that means you are going to increase the number of molecules or the moles of the reactant concentration. So what is happening over here? So look at this. There are one, two, three, four, five uh, molecules are there, and in this flask there are more molecules as compared to this one. So what is happening? So the first one is the frequency of collision is increasing. So because there are the less number of molecules, so the collision frequency is less as compared to here, and there are more number of molecules. And in the third flask, again there are the more number of the molecules. So as soon as the number of the molecules are increasing, that means the number of molecules are increasing, it is increasing the concentration of the reactants in the solution. So the number of frequency of collision is increasing. That means the percentage of successful collision is increasing, which is going to increase the rate of the reaction. So you can say the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant. More will be the concentration of the reactant, more will be the rate of the reaction. So here in the third flask, the rate of reaction will be more as compared to the second, and the second will be more as compared to the third, because there is increase in the number of molecules. Number two, increasing the frequency of the collisions. That means increasing the successful collisions, that means the effective collisions, which are going to increase the rate of the reaction. So this is the reason you have to explain in a similar way if it is asked in your examination question. So the second part is the in case of the gaseous molecules. So in the gaseous molecules, again, what important point over here is the pressure. So there are again, if there are one, two, three, four, five, there are five molecules of a gas. And what you are going to do, you are going to increase the pressure. So what is happening over here? These five molecules are remain the same. Only the change is the pressure, because with this piston you are going to increase the pressure on these molecules. So first this was the volume of this gas, and with increasing the volume is decreased as per the Boyle's law. There is a more pressure, there is the less volume, and the volume is decreased. And you, if you further increase the pressure, there is further decrease in the volume, and look at there is no change in the number of molecules of the gas. So this is in case of the pressure. Now you are just increasing the pressure with the same concentration in all three flasks over here. And what is happening again, if you increase the pressure, so look at the position of the piston over here. So again, the volume is small. That means the frequency of collision is going to increase because there is a less volume. In less volume, there is more chances for the reactant to collide together. So that's why the frequency of collision increases, and that means the percentage of successful in collisions are increasing. That means the effective collisions are going to increase, as we have discussed before. And again, if you further apply the pressure over here, again there is the decrease in volume. So you are again, with the decrease in volume, there are more chances of the collision of these molecules to react to each other. That means you are increasing the frequency of the collisions, or in terms, you are going to increase the more successful collisions by applying the more pressure. So increasing the pressure of a gas, increasing the pressure of a reaction involving gases, actually it is going to, the gas molecules are becoming closer together, and this will increase the frequency of the particle collisions, and therefore it is going to increase the rate of the reaction. So rate of reaction over here is more as compared to here, and the rate of reaction in this flask is more as compared to here. So your net conclusion over here, when you increase the concentration, there will be the more collision. This is your the first output out of this discussion. And for the gases, of course, there is increase in pressure, or in the liquid there is increase in concentration. So what would be the effect on the rate of reaction? It increases the rate of the reaction, and you can say the rate of reaction is proportional to the concentration of the reactant, or the pressure of the reactant in terms of the gases. So this is the our first factor which is going to affect the rate of the reaction. It is the concentration and the pressure.